It is punctuated here and there by a new idea. Some of those ideas are good and some only complicate the situation. But anyway, the human being quietly has to recognize that none of these things need to move him. He does not need to be wrong because being wrong is fashionable. He doesn't need to remain ignorant because wisdom looks like a responsibility. He does not need to neglect his inner life in the desperate effort to become physically opulent and successful. How we got the way we have is difficult to imagine because the truth of the thing is so obvious. And of course the simple answer to the whole business is that success for most persons has to end at the grave. All the things we have piled up here we simply leave to our relatives or our descendants to haggle over. We cannot take with us anything except, if something, what we have achieved internally. We are supposed by nature to leave this world a little wiser and a little better than when we came in. If this is a failure, if we do not know more on our deathbed than we did in the cradle, then we have failed. And that is the problem. In fact, it's worse, because when we were children, we only knew or were only ignorant, simple ignorance. Whereas as we get older, to follow the Confucian adage, we come to the time when we know not, and know not that we know not. Instead of being simply ignorant, we become compoundly ignorant. That is, we have reached the point where we not only do not know the truth, but have accepted so many things that are untrue that it's almost impossible to extricate our mind from the dilemma. So actually, the problem of making something out of life is not as difficult, dangerous, or terrible as we might think. It is simply a matter of building internal value. Now, at the beginning, it will probably be a bit sketchy. We're not going to start in by being stupendously enlightened. But we are going to gradually begin to recognize, as Buddha did, that the first step is difficult. But if you take it wisely, it justifies all the other steps. The first step is the difficult one, because it means that we step from a condition of compound ignorance to the beginning of a search for wisdom. In the first step, we may fall on our face. Quite possible, because we don't know where we're going. But first step is dedication. It is a determination to be better. It tells us firmly that we are not living our own potential. The first step is to realize that there is something better inside of us than we have ever permitted to come out on the outside. That there is more inside of us than we'll ever find on the outside. And that the treasures of the inner life have an endurance, whereas the treasures of the outer life, if they are physical, will be taxed to death, and if they are not physical and taxable, we must leave them at the grave. So all these different problems brought out the concept that Confucius had of what might be termed a good average person. His superior man was not something that walks around on high boots and lords it over others. His superior man is not one that is loaded down with credentials. His superior man is not one who is too good to mingle with anyone else. His superior man is simply an individual who has found his own center and is going to try to live according to it. And in so doing, he has also solved the problem of his relationships with other people. The superior person is not one who lords it over others. He is the most humble and simple of all people, because he has a depth of values which enable him to understand the mistakes of everyone except himself. Though his own mistakes he has to struggle through, but these mistakes of others he can philosophize upon with considerable ability and with constructive results. Confucius not having had a computer to work with, we now find what is happening. It used to be that we taught children the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. In those days, we spelled arithmetic with an R. These simple facts were very awesome when you started out. The multiplication table looked desperate at first, but it gradually took common shape, and first you know, we were able to add up grocery bills with comparative convenience. Little by little, education taught us things. It taught us to learn certain things. And education in contact with other people brought out certain points that were valuable. But now, if we allow computerization to do our thinking for us, to enable us to solve all the problems of higher mathematics, for instance, because we know nothing about them ourselves, but the computer could give us the answers,